a year. Like, that's a huge chunk of change. Right? I remember my dad growing up, and in order to make 6 figures a year, he had to work 3 jobs. Do you want to work 3 jobs? I know. I know that. Triples, come on up. I think we got 1. Yeah.
How much time you got? I'm old.
Go.
You always get up here after 100 times and think it's going to be easy. My story is insane. I got married when I was 18 and immediately started trying to have a family. And my 6th pregnancy, I lost twins stillborn at 8.5 months. I kind of gave up. And in that year's period of time, I was 25 by then, I had ballooned up to 327 pounds. And finally I got pregnant with my daughter, and I had her and everything was amazing, and a year later my gallbladder failed, and I went to the doctor and they said, hey, we have this experimental operation. When we take your gallbladder out, we can give you a gastric bypass and you'll lose 100 pounds in a year. You can eat whatever you want, you just can't have soda, and we want you to drink water. And I was like, sign me up. That was a Monday, and I had it done on a Thursday. I have a scar from my belly button to my breastbone, and I was in the hospital for 11 days with a feeding tube. They came in on the 11th day and pulled it out, and they said, okay, you can go home, eat whatever you want, just make sure you eat often and use these little cups. And I did that, and threw up pretty much everything I ate for about 5 years. Got down to 118 pounds. I weigh 145 now, so picture that. I was extremely unhealthy and got pregnant when I didn't want to be, because I knew I wasn't healthy, and had a baby prematurely, and he was in and out of the hospital for about 9 months, all because my body was so malnutrition. And I decided to have my tubes tied, and unfortunately my marriage failed and I got divorced, and I was a single mom with 2 kids, and I drove a truck for UPS during the day, went to school full-time, and worked as a bouncer at the Westerner in Salt Lake. If any of you know where that is. I was the first female bouncer, and I would go to work from 9 to 2 in the morning, Thursday through Saturday, when my kids went to bed, so they didn't even know I was gone. But I got paid $12 an hour under the table, and in 1992, that was excellent money. So I did what I had to do to feed my kids, and I so wish this would have been around. I saw an ad in the paper where I could go to Salt Lake Community College and learn to be an aircraft mechanic, and I did that, and I became a sheet metal aircraft mechanic for McDonnell Douglas in North Salt Lake, and was sick all the time because of my nutrition. I was thin, I looked good, so that meant I was healthy, but I was skinny fat. I got remarried, I adopted my husband's children, so I had 5 children, the big family that I'd always wanted, and that kind of eased the pain of losing all those pregnancies. Then I got pregnant with my tubes tied at 39, and ended up getting another divorce, and a year later I found out that I had cervix cancer, and it was stage 3. And I had custody of all of my children. So I had 6 kids from 13 down to 18 months. And it was pretty tumultuous. They didn't have FMLA then. And all I needed was for some doctor to ask me what I ate. Nobody ever asked me what I ate. If you go to the doctor and you're sick, make sure your doctor checks your nutrition. Tell everybody that, because it's crap in this country that they don't treat us with nutrition first. Okay, off that rant. Anyway, so I went through the whole bald thing and all that, and it was all good and fine, and I still didn't change much about what I ate, but my kids ate like rock stars. I am a food addict, and I got remarried to a man that has 3 kids, so I have 3 natural, 3 adopted, and 3 stepkids. My 20th grandchild will be born in December. And at the age of 46, I did a self-breast exam, and I had stage 3 breast cancer. So I got a partial mastectomy and did the chemo and the radiation, wore a prosthesis for a year. Nobody ever asked me what I ate. They all knew I had a gastric bypass. I pointed it out. I made sure nobody ever asked me. So I got breast reconstruction, silver lining. But don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. About at the age of 53, I started having neurological issues. My eyes changed 5 times in 10 months. My bladder stopped working. I was way too young to be wearing Depends. I would be walking across the floor and trip over nothing. I started having tremors in my face, like how your eye twitches, only the whole side of my face would tremor. And all of a sudden, my arm would just drop, like I had no control over my arm, and went to doctor after doctor after doctor. Nobody asked me what I ate. Nobody sent me to a nutritionist, ever. And by the way, I drank 2 liters of soda and a pot of coffee every day for about 25 years. So if you're doing that, stop. So I finally went to my 3rd neurologist, and first one to do an MRI, and I had lesions on my brain, and then I found out that I had MS. I am extremely happy that I had MS and not brain cancer, because I thought for 3 years it's going to get me. 3rd time's going to be a charm. He was the first doctor in my life, and he had crappy bedside manner, and he came in and he goes, didn't say hello, I am Dr. Hammond, anything like that, walked in and said, what the hell do you eat? And I said, excuse me? He goes, what do you eat? Your nutrition levels are like a poor Ethiopian. And I was like really offended. And I said, well, I had a gastric bypass. I don't eat much. And he said, well, that's no excuse. There's tons of supplements out there. You need to get some greens. And I said, excuse me? You mean like kale shakes? I don't like kale. He said, no, I don't mean like kale shakes. You're an intelligent woman. Get on the internet. Google it. I'm going to send you to a nutritionist, and we're going to see how many calories you're eating. And I was eating 700 to 900 calories a day. The average adult minimum to stay out of starvation mode needs 11 to 1200. So all these years I had been in starvation mode, and I had destroyed my immune system. There is absolutely no history of any type of cancer on either side immediate in my family. And I'm talking my first cousins, my aunts, uncles, grandparents, siblings, or children, or MS. It's unheard of for MS to be diagnosed after the age of 45. So he sent me to a nutritionist. I kept tracking FitnessPal, and the first thing she said to me is, you need to start drinking water. And I was like, well, okay, I like water. But she said, but no soda and no coffee for 30 days. And I was like, okay. And she said, so find some greens that'll help your cravings. So I went to this company and that company and tried all these different greens. It didn't dissolve. I was eating them out of the bottom of the cup with a spoon, and they were horrid. And my daughter's friend called me up and she said, hey, I went to a wrap party. And I went, why are you telling me this, Nicole? I care 2 shits about how I look. She said, because they have supplements. I said, the Facebook thing? That stupid fake wrap thing? She said, yeah, they have all natural non-GMO supplements, and they've got greens, and they taste good. So she said, non-GMO, greens, and they taste good, and I was there. I called this woman named Holly Quiglia. If you do not know her, you need to find her on Facebook, and you need to friend her. She is awesome. My husband makes a crap ton of money. I can collect disability. I do not need this money. I do not need this job. I need to stop people from doing what I did to myself in any way, shape, or form by opening my mouth. I am not afraid to blitz. I am not scared to be up here. I was born for this. I went through the shit I went through to stand up here and help you guys never quit. If you haven't joined, join. Somebody out there needs you to stop them from destroying their life because society wants them to look a certain way. Okay, I'm going to be 57. I look great. and that's awesome. But the most important thing is these It Works products saved my life, literally. They took my driver's license. I couldn't babysit my grandkids. I could barely make it through work. I got taken off the airplanes that I loved and put in a desk typing in a cubicle with no window, no interaction with people. And for those that know me, that's a death sentence in itself. So, I don't care how crappy your day is, I don't care how many people say no, how many people quit on you. I was still sick on 4 steroids, Oxycontin, Loratab, muscle relaxers. And in 111 days, I went diamond. Because people were like, whoa, what are you on? I want some of it. And I just opened my mouth. I drank my greens in front of them. My new you and my relief and my confianza was on my desk. It was everywhere. I went to lunch, my fat fighters were with me because that was my biggest meal of the day. I dropped 30 steroid pounds in 8 weeks. And I went, maybe I should try one of those stupid wraps. And you probably have all shared my belly at one time or another, didn't know it was me. But I went from a size 12 to a size 6 in 8 wraps in 8 weeks. And that was my trouble area. I had the apron hanging down from the 3 C-sections and the loss of 167 pounds. My arms are defining gel only. There's no wiggle there. I take New You, I take everything. I have just not used the stretch mark cream. That is the only product I do not use. I got blessed with great skin. But I do want to tell you, when I went diamond, I was like, well, maybe I won't finish the disability papers. Maybe when they shut down Hill Air Force Base, when the government shuts down, I'll just quit. And I did. And everybody was like, you can't quit a government job. And I said, can't I? Watch me. And one guy said, you'll make a living off of this when pigs fly. Yeah. So when I went diamond in 111 days, all I posted was a picture of pigs flying. My husband went diamond. 60 days later, I posted a picture of pigs flying. And then that was March of 2013. And then in, let's see, March of 2014, I went double diamond and I posted a picture of pigs flying. And then in May, when I went triple, and I'm up to $60,000 in bonuses now, I posted a picture of pigs flying because you can make a living doing this. I am an advocate of St. Anne's Center in Ogden. I don't need $10,000 a month. My husband can support a lot of us, and it's good because there is a lot of us. But my point is, now I can actually take that funds, my mother's legacy of being a teacher. That's another thing I gotta tell you. My mom has progressive dementia. She got diagnosed in May. So she went from being this dynamic woman who taught kindergarten for 37 years to most days not knowing who I am, from May to now. And so she got her teaching degree, master's degree in 4 years in her mid-40s. Busted her ass. And so I knew if I busted my ass, I could help a lot of people, because I'm on the downhill slide here, unless I'm going to live to be 112. But it's important to me to carry on her legacy of working hard and helping people. So St. Anne's just built a great big brand new shelter called Lantern House. And my goal, I'm going ambassador, so that there can be a room there to teach adults how to read, so that they can keep jobs. So she was a teacher. In her name, I can donate a certain amount of money every single month, not just to give a Band-Aid, to give a meal, but actually in my own community on a consistent basis, help people. Because my house is fine, my car is fine, my jewelry's fine. I've been all over Europe. There's a lot of places I still want to go. But if I can ease the pain in all kinds of different ways, whether it's people financially, physically, but in my own community, why wouldn't I do that? And It Works is the vehicle that I'm doing it with. I'm just going to drive that car. And I'm going to drive it till the wheels fall off. So don't ever quit.
That's all right.